What's up, greatest co-host in all the land? How you doing today?
Nothing much, man, but I got like this weird feeling in my throat. Do you mind if you take a look for me?
Sure, I'll look in your throat. It's a weird ask, but okay.
Oh, you got real deep in there. What?
You need to go seek some help. That ain't right.
Oh, wait, no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I am your host, Joseph, and it is here on this very podcast where each and every Thursday, me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation. So, with all that said, with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host who is and whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic today, Joe. How are you doing?
Let me tell you something. It's been a day. I've been in college for 13 hours, so I'm glad to be out. It's been a day, but it's been eventful, man.
How many classes do you have left?
Weeks, technically 5.
Okay,
but
we're getting there.
But actually, like, half of my classes are ending on the 4th of December.
Oh, okay.
So really, more like 3 more weeks.
That's awesome.
So yeah, final semester, and I'm getting excited. It's just everything's coming down to the wire now. So I've been kind of all over the place. But listen, enough about college life. Nobody wants to relive those memories. They're awful. We got a lot to talk about today.
I kind of like the college life, but that's
Did you really?
I did. I had a great time.
Oh, really? Yeah. Wait, how long did it take you to graduate?
Oh, I went away for school for 4 years, so. But then after that, I went straight into and got my master's. So it was 6 straight years.
Dang, look at you.
Long road. It's sitting up here. It's all dusty. It's not getting used. But know what?
So, like, when you walk around, do people have to call you Master Kyle?
Oh, God. I wish. No, they don't. It's...
Master Kyle, how are you? Kyle, listen, we got a big show today. It might not be a lot on the docket here, but we're going to talk about a rumored Assassin's Creed Ragnarok potential release. We're going to talk about Death Stranding leading the Game Awards and why everybody's so upset about it. We're going to talk about the leaked PlayStation 5 controller blueprint. But before we do that, each and every week we start the show with what we've been playing. And Kyle, it is yet again, we're in the holiday season. The last major game has struck right beside us, or right in front of us, rather.
Yeah.
That is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. What were your thoughts walking into this game, and how long have you been playing this game for?
Oh, man. So I've been juggling it back and forth with Death Stranding, so I can't really put a total time on Jedi so far. But I'm really into it. Yeah. I am. It is that Souls-like, Bloodborne-like, hard-ass gameplay, which is, for me, I'm getting used to it, and some of it's still a little tedious for me and bumming me out. Like, I've had to walk away filled with rage like once or twice.
Oh, already has happened to me as well.
Yeah. But what I hear people who play those games happen to me, like when you finally overcome that, man, the hype, the positive feelings, the endorphins kick in, and it's a really cool feeling. The lightsaber sounds cool. The force powers are cool. I'm digging Cal. I think the best part of this game so far is BD1. I love BD1. He is the best droid, in my opinion.
Out of all Star Wars?
Listen, I am not a huge Star Wars person. He is my favorite droid right now, man.
Jesus. R2-D2. You're saying he's better than R2?
In my eyes right now, yeah. BD1's
such
awesome.
An R3 thing to say, dude.
I don't know what that means. I don't get that reference. Yeah, it's cool. And the Metroidvania parts are pretty awesome.
All right.
It's got its downsides, but I'm not gonna hold it not hold it so much against it.
Right.
Because of my experience with Control. Right, Control was buggy as well, and that's my
Right.
current game of the
So
year. So
so walk it back a little bit. Walk it back
yeah,
for me
yeah.
here.
Sorry, I rambled a little bit
What were
there.
your thoughts walking into this game? What were your
Oh
expectations
yeah,
of that?
that is what you asked me.
Yeah.
I was expecting a decent Star Wars game
Mm-hmm.
that had the typical respawn polish
Yeah.
and movement and some hard ass gameplay because from that's what I've heard about. Yeah,
Walking into this game for me, Kyle, listen, it's been a rough going with EA's handling of Star Wars, right? We're going to talk about Amy Hennig in a bit. It's been rough. We've had our hopes just dashed ever since Star Wars 1313. We've seen really cool concepts, but just nothing come to fruition. And the things that have, like, Battlefront 1 and 2, don't live up to the hype, right? They don't live up to what we think a Star Wars game should feel. We reminisce about games like Star Wars, what is it? Not Rebel Commando, Republic Commando. There you go.
oh okay.
We're thinking about games like Force Unleashed, right? These amazing Star Wars experiences.
And KOTOR.
KOTOR 1, KOTOR 2, man, Knights of the Old Republic, so fantastic. Even the MMO is decent. But the EA's handling of this game or this license has been piss poor. Hearing that Respawn took the reins, I was optimistic because Respawn doesn't know how to make a bad game. When again, going back to when they were originally making Medal of Honor games, they were great. When they changed their name to Infinity Ward, they started pumping out Call of Duties, right? The World War II Call of Duties up until Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. Those were great games telling really personal stories in a really grounded way. And then seeing Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2, Apex Legends, I mean, the list goes on. The repertoire of this studio is fantastic. So I know I'm going to get a good experience, and knowing that the creative director of God of War 3 is also behind the helm, I know I'm going to get a good game. Now, seeing the kid from Shameless as the main protagonist and seeing him in his dumb fucking poncho,
Yeah.
that bummed me out a little bit.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'm not a fan of Gotham. People will be like, "Oh, but him as the Joker or Jerome." What a fucking name. I wasn't down on it or
Sure.
per se, but I wasn't excited for it. Within the first 3 hours of this game, I am sold on Cal.
Yeah.
I like Cal a lot. He is that optimistic. He is there for the mission. He is to me Luke Skywalker light. Right? Like
Totally.
he is always out there for the greater good. And so Cal has been on this planet dismantling Imperial starships and kind of just living a secret life. Right? He was a Padawan. He has learned the Jedi path, but ever since Order 66, he's had to be in hiding. And one day when he's on the job, he saves his buddy's life. He uses the Force, and an Imperial droid spots him. And then right off the bat, you're on the run from the Second Sisters, the Inquisitors, which are one of the coolest additions, at least in my thoughts,
For
that
sure.
Disney has put out. The changes they've made to Star Wars, and the main Second Sister is insanely intimidating. Like, she's an amazing villain. It's been a while since I can remember a villain that is, man, I'm kind of rooting for him. Like, they're intimidating. When you're fighting her, spoiler alert, first mission, you don't stand a chance, and they're there to kick your butt.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you understand immediately the threat is, if this person finds you, it's not if, it's they will kill you, and you're on the run from there on out. And you like the characters you meet, like Seer, and I forget the commander of the ship, Grizz.
Grease? Or Grease or Grizz, yeah.
He's an alien from Brooklyn.
Yeah, yes.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And you're on this mission. You're following an old Jedi and his path to finding this old ancient civilization that had some type of force connection, and you're kind of finding out what has happened to this ancient race, why they matter, while you're being hunted by the Second Sisters.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Basically, they came to help Cal because they wanted to bring him back to this planet that is not charted from the Empire, right? Yeah. They don't know where it is.
First off, someone needs to learn how to use a fucking map in this in this galaxy. It's always an uncharted, planet. It's like, dude, you'd think, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. Send some flyers out.
I know the galaxy's big, but like, seriously though, you got.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can find a planet.
If you could go into light speed, you could chart a fucking map.
Yeah, but basically they go to this planet, and it's basically they want you to find a way to bring Jedi back.
Yeah,
right.
They want you to
Order
bring the Order back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and
which is a great premise for a Star Wars game, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the cool thing about it is because you've been in hiding for so long, it's kind of like you've repressed the memory of when you lost your way and your Jedi Master. And that is the cool thing. You're learning abilities by actually meditating, by actually going to the temple, and then a vision will hit you going, oh wait, I know how to do this. And you learn force
with your master.
Pull. Yeah. They're awesome flashbacks that don't take a weird loading screen to get into. They hit you immediately. It's insanely insanely, I guess, intuitive is the word I want to use, but like it's awesome. So like you're in this ship, you can control where you want to go, and it's very Metroidvania-esque. That is definitely on the head, where what they want to give you is you visit this one planet, but there's an excuse to go back. There'll be a path that's blocked that you can't, like, let's just say there's a chest you want to open, but BD1, who's your little buddy you find along the way,
that's
can't.
Destroyed.
Yeah, god damn it. He can't crack the code to open that chest, so you need to come back. Or maybe you need to use force push or force pull, and you haven't learned that yet, and it's an excuse to go back to the planet, and things have changed.
Yeah.
And so, like, enemies are in different places now, and there's different enemies all over the place. Yeah. And it's just a great way of really letting it so that you're never experiencing, though you're in the same area, you're never experiencing the same fight twice. And so when we get to the combat, Kyle, I'm a big Souls guy.
Yeah,
You're not a Souls person.
No.
How did you like the combat?
It took me a while to get used to it.
Yeah.
It was very much where I was, speaking of God of War, with Stig Asmussen, I think is how you say his last name, who's directing this one, who directed God of War 3. I'm in God of War mode where I'm mashing square to just hack as much as possible. Yeah. And there are some enemies where, like, you got to back up, right? I know that's stupid for me saying it, because you listeners out there are probably saying, no, that's how you play a Souls game. You attack and back up, and it's more like
it's more about patience.
Cat and mouse game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, when it comes to action games, I don't have patience. I just want to hack them and go. So it was very much me retraining how to tackle this combat. And so far, it's not as steep of a learning curve as I was expecting.
Okay.
I think just having the very simple buttons where it's not super crazy, like block is L1, and just timing it for parrying and timing it to, like, shoot back the blasters from stormtroopers is cool. Yeah, I think some of the force power stuff I need to get a little more used to when using that in combat. Because sometimes it's a little cumbersome and not as responsive.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah,
it's not instant. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Like there's some delay between buttons.
For me, what I did, and this is the one thing I really like about this game so far, you could completely customize the layout of the controller to whatever you want. So like attack. Your light attack, the thing you're going to use the most, is on square, I believe. I just put that to R1. So it's Bloodborne time, baby. Your heavy swing is triangle. It's R2, baby. And then I use my force abilities as the face buttons. And I found that once I was able to get it to the controls I'm used to, that Bloodborne, that Sekiro like style, I was able to get into the combat a lot more. Because I'll be honest, in the beginning, it is Sekiro combat. When people are like, "Oh, it's Bloodborne," I'm like, "No, it's fucking not." Like Bloodborne, you take a hit, you can mess up that pattern and get like a third of your health back or like half of your health back. In Sekiro, you get damaged and oh my god, that's a huge freaking deal. And so with this game, it is all about the parry. It is all about patience. And it goes down to the core mechanics of what is a Jedi. A Jedi isn't like someone that's hacking and slashing everything. Jedis are patient. Jedis are thoughtful. They are master strategists. And they put that emphasis of what a Jedi is into the combat. And so it amazes me how this game is so much like Sekiro, but they were in development for about this, the same time for the most part. And so it's kind of cool seeing these games being developed kind of side by side in a way, and seeing how much alike they are in the long run.
I will appreciate when it comes to like if you die to an enemy, that enemy, much like Bloodborne from the little time I played, gathers all your experience points. And all you have to do is just hit him once, which I appreciate, and you get it back.
And you don't, that's really awesome too. And some enemies are really freaking hard, and it's an incentive of going back. Like I went to Dathomir, the planet of Darth fucking Maul, and the enemies are so hard. I was just like, I'm gonna go back to this. I'm not gonna do this. Traversal though, before we get into the news and we break down our feelings, some of the best traversal in a video game. Like this is peak Uncharted for me.
Yeah, it's there. It's not as good as Uncharted in my eyes.
Right.
But I could totally see it. The zip lines are cool.
The zip lines,
grabbing on ledges,
running on walls. Like I'm always on the edge of my seat when I'm making a jump. Like I don't think I can do it, but somehow I'm able to muster it.
The only thing I'm angry about,
tell me,
is the damn sliding and trying to jump onto a rope. That is probably the worst feeling part of this game in general. And it happens a lot. So basically, like it's like either a mud slide or an ice tunnel thing.
Yeah.
And you are sliding, you're like snowboarding down, and you have to jump onto a rope to swing across. Yeah. And it's so hard while you're sliding to go directly straight at the rope. Like Cal strays left to right, and you miss. At least in my case, I miss it a lot.
Okay.
And it's annoying.
That will be fixed later on, I assure you. That's all.
Oh, okay. Say. All right.
With that though, there have been bugs and weird, weird animations. It seems like this game could have been in the oven for like a month or two more.
Yep.
And then that turkey would have been done. But other than that, Kyle, I'm in love with this game. Like it is ripping me away from Death Stranding, and I'm doing this weird thing I haven't done in so long, where for the first time in a really long time, I'm jumping games. Like, I'm playing Death Stranding for 3 hours, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to play, Jedi for the weekend,
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. It's such a great mix between the two.
Yeah.
Because you have the kind of not as actiony, but very stressful melancholy of Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And then you got Jedi, where it's
intense.
Intense lightsaber battles and making sure you want to get to every little nook and cranny and get these chests to customize your lightsaber, which we haven't talked about. That's super freaking cool.
Yeah. It feels like it feels like you're constantly improving. And when you're fighting enemies, it's like when you're fighting 3 stormtroopers, or like they'll throw 6 stormtroopers at you and you're like, oh, this is easy. But like 3 of them are ranged attackers, and then the other 3 have like these fucking electronic billy clubs.
Yeah.
Every fight is a lot of thought to it.
Yep.
And that's what I really, really love about it. So to me, right now, as a big Star Wars fan, I'm enjoying this game. It is so freaking good. And seeing my brother, who isn't a big gamer, he's the guy who's still playing Battlefront 2 and enjoying himself, and telling me about the patch notes, and I'm like, oh, cool. He didn't think he would like this game. He doesn't like EA's handling of the IP. Huge Star Wars fan again. He is absolutely in love with this game. And I was just like, so coming out of it, Dan, is this the best Star Wars game you've ever played? And he's just like, I think so. And that's something you really want to hear after, again, years of mismanaging. This game just, it feels so freaking good. So go out there, buy this game, which rumor has it, it's really hard to find right now if you're into the physical copies, at least where I'm from. So yeah, awesome to see it doing well, selling well, showing again EA that, hey, you don't need to make a multiplayer game with microtransactions, sell a fucking game.
And I know we're going a little long here. So just so we mentioned it, we're both playing Death Stranding. If you want to hear our super long form detailed, our show The Road to Greatness is coming out
this Friday. Yeah,
this Friday. So if you're listening to it today, it will be tomorrow. It will come out.
Or just go ahead. Well, if you're the Patreon tier, $5 or up.
That's right. That's right.
Or else you gotta have to wait like a week. So that's fair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So with that, real cool, friends. That's a little spoiler there for you. It's real cool.
I do put myself in a box a lot in that episode.
Yeah, you do.
With that, I really do.
Yeah, you do. That is not hyperbole.
Like, I will
end
up on a watch list. And if that doesn't sell you on watching that episode, I don't know what will. Kyle, God. We've talked for 20 minutes about Star Wars. Let's get into the news. There's not a lot of it, but what there is some pretty cool stuff. So would you, I know you have a cough. I know you're still kind of under the weather. Yeah. Do you want to read this story for us?
I will be totally fine doing the story.
Let's do it.
This first goober comes from Andy Robinson over at Video Games Chronicle. PS5 controllers shown in patent images. The images, which were published on the Japanese Patent Office website today, are attributed to the PlayStation manufacturer and match a description of the PS5's prototype pad in a Wired article, in which Sony's next-gen controller is described as an awful lot like the PS4's DualShock 4. The patent specifically highlights a microphone, but comparison images posted online show that there are many subtle design changes between the picture controller and the DualShock 4. The controller pictured in the patent features larger triggers, slightly smaller sticks, a USB port, and no light bar. One major improvement added to PS5's controller is adaptive triggers, which SIE says can offer varying levels of resistance to make game mechanics such as shooting a bow and arrow, the tension increasing as you pull the arrow back, feel more realistic. The PS5 controller, which will switch to USB-C for charging, also includes haptic feedback with highly programmable voice coil actuators located in the left and right grips of the pad. Combined with an improved speaker on the controller, the PS5 controller's larger capacity battery and haptics motors make it a bit heavier than the DualShock 4 it's claimed.
Yes!
Hallelujah.
God, hallelujah, man. Listen, this is my biggest complaint with the DualShock. Everybody. I mean, everybody you walk into, or walk to and you talk to, whatever. Everybody says it. DualShock 4 is the best Sony controller, but it's the worst battery. It would be my favorite controller ever if they just put in a battery just twice the power so that it runs for 2 hours instead of 45
Absolutely.
minutes.
I have 3 different controllers. I have my dark blue one. I've got the Spider-Man one, the red one, and then the special 20th anniversary.
Dude, I got
whatever it was.
I got the purple controller, a blue controller, and then I got a drawer full of them.
But the thing is, all 3 of them have different charging capabilities because of how much I've used them. So like my red one, my Spider-Man one, it'll maybe last 3.5, 4 hours. Okay. My dark blue one will last a little bit longer. Yeah. My special one is the best one, and that's like a 6 hour-ish one.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. It's fucking crazy you use the Spider-Man controller.
Why is it crazy?
I turned it on once, used it once, and I was just like, and you are going on one day a pedestal because you're beautiful.
Absolutely. No, I'm going to use that bad boy.
You're making it work like a whore.
It's a I'm shocked you're more mad I'm using that one and not the special anniversary controller.
I don't use that one either.
Oh, okay.
Those should be in a nice frame. Okay, but like getting back to this controller though.
Yeah.
Immediate impressions, and when you look at the blueprints, everybody, It literally looks like a more compact DualShock 4.
Touchpad looks bigger.
Touchpad looks it looks not bigger, but
Maybe more
defined.
down.
It looks a little bit more defined to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'm not a huge fan based on the images,
Tell me.
the charging port looks like it's on the bottom.
Yeah, but like I mean, I have a stand, so I charge it. There's a way to charge them in the bottom or the top.
Sure, yeah. But like it just I like having it at the top. So like if I do have to hook it up to the PS4 actual system to charge, I can still play like that way.
I feel you.
And
yeah, what do you feel about the if the rumors are true? And again, they filed this patent. It's coming down the wire. It looks like this will be the finished product.
yeah,
What do you feel about smaller analog sticks? Does that get you a little worried, a little concerned?
no, as long as they make the depressions in them easier to kind of hold on to.
I will say this, okay?
Yeah.
I'm on the record. I bought a Xbox Elite 2 controller, whatever the fuck. Love it. Best controller ever, right? I know, right? On a PlayStation podcast. Blasphemy.
How dare you?
It's great. The thing that I would like on my DualShock, if I can just merge the two controllers together, is actually the thumbsticks on an Xbox controller. I prefer for the simple fact that they don't wear as fast as a DualShock controller. I feel like the analog sticks, they chip and they get mushy. They lose their friction too fast. And so if this is more like an Xbox One analog stick, I can get used to that knowing it's more durable. And I'm down with that. I don't mind it one bit. What about the lack of light bar? Does that worry you that maybe it's going to affect VR in a way?
Maybe,
Okay.
but I'm even more excited about that for the simple fact more battery life. I think that's how it's going to get more battery because that light bar is not going to be
It's
sucking it out.
That's a... I don't know. Yeah, I maybe...
It'll also be nice if you play in a dark setting, right? You
Okay.
won't have this light
That
kind
is
of
true.
emitting.
Like, maybe if they... I never minded the light bar too much because I put it to dim. But yeah, the fact that it's there is annoying. It just worries me that maybe they're also ditching VR.
I don't think they're ditching VR. No way.
Because there's so many games, like I'm thinking like a game like Astrobot, it needs that controller. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like there are some games that like absolutely need that controller to function. I'm thinking of a game like Moss in particular. Like what happens if that's gone?
I don't think I don't know if that will matter as much.
Okay.
I trust them that they would have figured this out because VR is such a huge part of their thing.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe the really tippy top of the touch bar might be still light, and maybe that might be all they need.
Maybe. I mean, we're also getting into the fact where like Oculus right now, they're like, you don't even need a controller.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know how they do that shit. But like, like the headset like scans your lower torso, which you know what else it's gonna scan.
Oh no!
You know what I mean?
Oh no!
So you got 3 controllers depending on, and like that's crazy to me. So maybe they use that type of technology, but that's my only concern for this controller. That's my only one. Everything else gets me really hyped. I mean, like USB-C, I always nerd out about it. I love USB-C. It's just now a standard thing, and it means that I'm gonna be able to charge this thing so much faster because that's my only gripe about the DualShock 4. Even if like, again, it was the same battery life, it's just like USB-C. I'm like, okay, well at least I'll charge in 30 minutes and I'm done.
Yeah.
You know. So there you go. There's our first bit of Sony news. Again, new controller.
Close.
We're getting close, man.
Close.
Again, we're seeing all these patents getting filed. Man, what a time to be alive, Kyle. What a time to be alive.
Exciting.
But gang, I want to know your thoughts on this controller. What improvements you would like to see? For me, this is exactly what I want. I don't want a deviation. I don't want a boomerang controller. I like what I have right now. Just refine it, and it looks like there's the refinements I want are there. You know.
Yeah.
Kyle, is there anything in particular you'd want out of a new DualShock controller? Or you're good.
Like you, I love the DualShock. That has been my controller for most of my life. So I love the feel of it. Like, the analog sticks maybe having what I mentioned before, just a little deeper recess, so like my thumbs can stay on them
Okay.
a little bit better, make them more steady.
What if we just take Rumble out and we call it the six axis too?
No,
Everybody loved that controller. There was nothing
that
wrong with it.
no,
Actually,
no.
just make it the six axis controller. There was
Stop
never
it.
a problem with it, dude. Kyle, let's get to the next story.
I
I want to
remember
get
how,
upset.
real quick. Do you remember
Yeah,
how light that thing was?
dude, it was a
It's
joke.
like
I
I
see. My thing is, I rather a heavy controller,
yeah,
like a thing that's got a little bit of heft, rather than something that weighs like nothing. Because
yeah.
to me, weighing like nothing means it feels cheap. It doesn't feel solid. You know. So to
Mad
me,
Cats.
yeah, I rather have the heft. Like when they're like, "Oh, it's
Absolutely.
gonna weigh a little heavier," I'm like, "That's fine. I weigh heavy too." Yeah.
The next goober comes from my best friend Brianna Reeves over at PS
I
Lifestyle.
don't know about that.
Well, sorry. Death Stranding leads the Game Awards 2019 nominees with 9 nods. The Game Awards 2019 will air in a little less than a month, with the official list of nominees is finally available. Two very interesting titles lead the nominations. Death Stranding leads the pack with a grand total of 9, including a Game of the Year nod. Remedy's Control comes in second with 8 nominations to its name. It, too, is a Game of the Year contender. Hallelujah. Thank you for Control.
Ooh, boy. And we're just going to read some of the categories.
Yeah.
The first four, I think, is. We'll read. Nah, let's just read the first one.
Sure.
You guys know it. You guys seen it. You've all been upset about it. The Game of the Year contenders for the Game Awards are Control, Death Stranding, Super Mario Bros. Ultimate.
Nope. Super Smash Brothers.
Sorry, what did I say? Oh, fuck.
Super Mario Bros.
Well, you know what? If this is a Nintendo, if I was on the shack right now, there's reason for alarm. Whatever. Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and The Outer Worlds. Kyle, a lot of people are upset because you
Yeah.
go down this list like I'm just skimming through right now. Game of the Year, Death Stranding's here. Best Game Direction, Death Stranding. Best Narrative, Death Stranding. Best Art Direction, Death Stranding. Best Music, Death Stranding. Best Audio, Death Stranding. Best Performance, Death Stranding.
Twice.
Twice. Actor's so nice, you gotta give it to him twice.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's where it starts to stop. I believe so. Yeah, like, it's everywhere. Oh, no, Best Action and Adventure Game. Let me tell you. The action? All right. Death Stranding's in there as well. So it seems like from all the years that we've had, it seems like almost since the Game Awards have been a thing where like Kojima's had a presence there. He's shown
Absolutely.
his game off, or they're giving him an award because,
Yeah.
Konami ousted him in such a shitty way. It just seems like over the past, I think, 3 or 4 years, Kojima's had a presence. Kojima's had at least 5 minutes on stage. And now it kind of seems like, well, okay, Geoff Keighley has promoted his game for over, again, 4 years now at least. He's in Death Stranding. Now it kind of seems like he's giving him Game of the Year, or at least many other chances of winning awards and slapping a ribbon on a cover. So, what are your thoughts here? Is there some pause to, for concern?
I think there is some pause,
Yeah.
just because of how recent it was released up to the point of when the nominations came out.
Yeah.
And I think that is even more in the forefront of everyone's being upset when it comes to Jedi not being on there.
Yeah.
Right?
Jedi.
I mean,
Jedi
I think
came
that's
out.
why so many people are upset over it, because Jedi is out and not on it, right?
Yeah, and I think everybody has found this game that they're like, this is really good. Like, again, if a game is good, we can look past bugs to an extent, right?
And it's not like Jedi can show up on next year's.
Yeah, I mean,
Because they'll
next
be
year's
ineligible.
list. Will it be?
I think, yeah. I
That
think
sucks.
the deadline's after any game released after Game Awards, I think, is eligible for next year.
See, that really blows. But again, at the same exact time, we're happy that this game's out when it is.
Yeah.
If it came out a week earlier and it was bug ridden, like that
Mm-hmm.
would be awful. But at the same exact time, like it does blow because even if it's eligible for next year, you have The Last of Us Part 2, right? You have Final Fantasy Remake, 7 Remake. You
Yep.
have Cyberpunk 2077, right? Like,
Yep.
you have all these amazing games. And not to say that this game couldn't stand on its own feet, but by the time that Game of the Year is going to roll around, man, that game's going to be a thought,
Yeah.
right? It's going to be a
Yep.
twinkle in the eye. Like, that's all this game's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, I think it does suck because Jedi was such a, is
Yeah,
such
it
a
is, yeah.
solid freaking game.
Yeah.
And to see it, like, again, it should be in best narrative, 100%. It
Yeah.
should be in best game direction. I love it. It should be in
There should be a performance in there for
sure.
at least one of the characters in that
Yeah.
game.
Oh, and there will be. So Kyle, with that said,
Yeah.
though, do you really think, and let's be real with each other right here, Death Stranding deserves all these nominations because the game came out and it was so mixed. And when I say mixed, listen, the game has a critical Metacritic of like 82.
Yeah.
It's a good game. It's just
Yeah.
divisive in the aspects of the industry or the areas in the industry that
Yeah.
usually are pretty uniform in their opinions, like an IGN. So, do you really think that 9 nominations? I mean,
It's too much.
yeah,
Man, that's hard because still in like the honeymoon period with it, right? I'm in love with Death Stranding, so I can appreciate why it's getting all these nominations that it's getting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of unfair for anyone to say that it doesn't deserve as many. I definitely believe it needs to be nominated at 100%.
right.
But it's kind of tough. Like when people say it shouldn't have 9, what do you put in besides Jedi? Because we already had that discussion.
Right.
What other game would you fill in for those
I mean,
nominations?
like there's arguments for games like, to be honest, like best art direction. What was the weird platinum game that came out this year? Astral Chain. Astral Chain should be on there. That's a dope looking game.
Yeah,
You know, when it comes to like game of the year, should really at least we give a shout out to a game like Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do believe those games, just from our friends who just love those
Yeah.
those titles.
Yeah, I
They
gave up
absolutely
because
should be represented.
I had to re-roll if I wanted to bang Claude. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but to me, I think they would take out another game that's on that list. I think it should go over Sekiro. I know we disagree on that one, but or even Outer Worlds I mean, I understand it's super great for what it is, but it's still a game that's stuck in the past.
Ooh.
So
how dare you, sir?
it's again,
something-
I love the game,
Dare
but it's
you?
not.
No. I'm gonna take the mitts off. Okay. All right.
Take them off.
This is
Take 'em off.
this is again second party game or a smaller game. When people are like this is an indie title, I'm like it is not an indie game. It is backed by 2K. It's just a subsidiary of 2K. It's saying we're gonna throw some money at you, not all the money. So it is a smaller title, and with the funds that they have, they made something that people wanted, which is a fucking excellent Fallout game, right? In space. And so like shout out to them. I think there should just look, one other game should have been on that list. And we're a PlayStation podcast, but another game there should have been maybe some more representation.
Yeah.
In terms of like the genres that were there, I guess. I mean, but when you look at it, yeah, you got some action, you got some fighting, you got I don't know. It feels like, I don't know. Do you think it's like a weak year this year? Let's get that conversation.
I don't know if it's. I wouldn't say straight up weak year. It's been a weird year
Yeah.
for sure for games. A lot of big games just didn't hit. I'm looking at you, Days Gone.
Oh, calm out. Oh,
That's
fuck.
but like yeah, I think everyone's gearing up for next year, and we know what next year's coming. So
Yeah.
it's kind of
I
weird to
mean,
match it up when we know of the titles that are on the horizon.
like, spoiler alert, the most anticipated game for 2020, that's a list we'll have on our Game Award list. Last of
Yeah,
Us Part 2, Doom Eternal, Cyberpunk 2077, Marvel Avengers, Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII Remake. At least 3 of those games are going to be up for Game of the Year,
yeah,
right? Like, you bet your bottom dollar Last of Us is going to be there. You
yep.
bet your bottom dollar Cyberpunk's going to be there.
And that's not to say if a PS5 next gen game
Yeah. Knack
comes up
4.
and blows us all away. And skipping
Again,
3 entirely.
we're skipping 3 entirely. We're just going to 4. Like, I think it is a weird year because we had our God of War moment, we had Red Dead, where these 2 games are obviously you're backing one of these horses.
Yep.
Where this year it's kind of smaller pockets of people that really like these games, but none of them are being are crying to be championed. Other than I think Control, right? Like people are like,
Yeah.
this is the game. Like usually something is not just critically successful, but it's monetarily successful, and it's
Yeah.
a huge hit. So like last year we had Spider-Man, we had God of War, we had Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we had Red Dead Redemption, like 2. Like those games were huge monetary successes and critical successes, and none of these games are. Like Death Stranding in week 2 of its sales have dropped by 71%. Same with Control. Control critically loved, but commercially, who knows?
Yeah.
Sekiro was a commercial hit. Resident Evil was a commercial hit.
Smash.
Super Smash Brothers, best-selling fighting game of all time. So like that one is one that truly makes sense, but it is a weird year.
Yeah.
I hate to say that it sucked. It's just when you're looking up at the mountain that is 2020, the year of Barbara Walters, it gets it gets a little intimidating.
Yeah.
It's
for sure.
you can't even compare because 2020 is gonna be that great. With that
You know,
said, though, Colin,
you know what we should do real
Yeah.
quick before I forget? We need to go back to our last year's episode, a Game of the Year, where we discuss our most anticipated for this year
oh, we should
and see where they line up. I'm making a note, ladies and gentlemen.
make a mental note, write it down. When we do our Game of the Year, which is on December 18th, will be our Game Awards, the Trophy Room Awards. We'll have a nice, beautiful little conversation of what was our most anticipated game of 2019. I will go back. We'll go back to the tapes. That seems freaking excellent. With that, though, listen, the Game Awards happened, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the nominees are out. We might as well jump on this bandwagon as well. Last year, we gave you guys the opportunities and gals, the opportunity to vote for your Game of the Year. For your game that was the best art direction to you or had the most impact, your favorite multiplayer game. We gave you all the opportunity to vote on each category. We're doing the same thing this year. So welcome to the Trophy Room Awards 2019 nominees for the Platinum of 2019. We have, this is how similar, and please note, this list was completed before we started the show. But it was this, we literally added 1 game to this list. Okay? I did not know what Geoff Keighley had up his sleeve. This is what I picked out of a consensus of thinking back of how social media was in a fervor for these games. So, up for Game of the Year for the Trophy Room in 2019. Year of Our Shoe. Control by Remedy Entertainment. Death Stranding by Kojima Productions. Resident Evil 2 by Capcom. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Kyle won't let me do the accent.
Absolutely not.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And then last but not leastly, The Outer Worlds. So all we did was substitute Smash Brothers for Star Wars, and here we are.
Yeah.
How nuts is that, dude?
That is pretty nuts.
So yeah, those are our games that we're throwing out there, and that we want you all to vote on. You're going to choose what the game of the year for the trophy room is going to be in 2019, and you can vote right now. It's links in the description. Links will be on our social medias. So go over there, check it out. Again, vote on it. There's no Chiquatro, man. It's literally a Google Doc, and you're choosing what you want to vote for. So if you want to just vote for Game of the Year and back out, or you want to vote for everything, you can do that. We have a couple of awesome categories as well, like Most Anticipated Game, Best Indie of 2019, Best PSVR Game, Best Actress, Best Actor, did I say PSVR Game? Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Best Soundtrack, Best Sound Design, all that stuff. Best Multiplayer Game. So if you're into all that, please vote. It's so much fun looking at the votes and seeing how everything starts to scale. So share it with your friends as well. With that, Kyle, I don't get why everybody's upset at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's just people really want to be upset at stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Because, like, to me, I was thinking about it in the car home, and this is where I'll end it, is like, I don't think anybody actually gave a shit about Kojima and the things that was going on to his dev team. I actually don't think social media gave an absolute fuck about the horrible work environment that Kojima went through and his team went through. Don't think anybody cares. I think people just wanted to be upset at something. And just like they're upset at this. Honest to God, my favorite movie of all time is Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse. You've seen the intro to the show. You know that. I'm not upset it didn't win Best Picture last year. You know? It's people being upset to be angry because you didn't like Death Stranding. To see so many people go, if you like Death Stranding, you're a PlayStation apologist. It's like, what? No, I just like this game.
No. Yeah.
Like, it's just like saying, if Gears of War 5 is your game of the year in 2019, shoot for the moon. Go for it. Throw a fucking parade. Like, absolutely. At the end of the day, these things are fun, and it's a pageantry to celebrate developers. And somehow we just lost completely out of touch with that.
Yeah.
It's
I think people are too worried about having their own personal choices be validated by others.
Yes.
I think that's where people are getting hung up on it, and that's super upsetting. Like what you like.
Yeah.
Like if your favorite game is, I don't know, if your favorite game is Days Gone this year,
go for it.
Congratulations. I'm happy you had a game that spoke to you and you enjoyed playing throughout. Everyone is different. That's what is so beautiful about gaming and just living in general.
Yeah.
Everyone is different. Everyone's got different tastes.
But
go about your business. Play what you want to play.
I love what you said, though, at the end of the day. It's like everybody's chasing a like. It's like you don't need to be upvoted to have a valid opinion. You know? It's ridiculous. It is truly, absolutely ridiculous that is the case. I know we missed a couple of questions about Game of the Year. It just occurred to me. My apologies. It's been a bit of a day. With that, Kyle, let's get into the second story on the list. Yeah, we're only at story 2. Let's talk about it.
Story 3.
Story
rumor, Assassin's Creed Ragnarok will be revealed at a PlayStation event in February 2020. This also comes from my best friend Brianna Reeves over at PS Lifestyle. Reportedly titled Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, the new installment will allegedly center on Vikings. The first round of speculation emerged courtesy of a tease in the Division 2. Subsequent rumors surfaced thanks to a supposed leak via 4chan. Notably, the latest report covers similar ground. However, a new wrinkle has been added to the equation, suggesting that Ubisoft will unveil Ragnarok in February 2020. In a Reddit post, an anonymous leaker shared what they supposedly know about 2020's Assassin's Creed release. The leak also makes note of the specific event at which Ubisoft will reveal the title, a, quote, PlayStation event in February. At present, Sony hasn't confirmed a February event, though speculation points to this being the PS5 reveal, matching when the PS4 was unveiled. As such, this portion of the AC rumor, along with everything else pertaining to it, should be taken with a grain of salt.
Kyle, what do you think about this rumor? We've been hearing about Ragnarok for a while now. I think, weird noises I made aside, obviously Ragnarok's real,
Yeah,
But do you think this rumor holds any weight that there is going to be a PlayStation event in February that showcases Ragnarok's power?
absolutely. I think so.
Yeah?
I've said this before throughout this year when it comes to unveiling the PS5. I think it's happening in February, following the PS4 rollout. And what they did at that one is they showcased different games. That's when Infamous Second Son was showcased and
Yeah.
Killzone, and it's going to show off what this system can do. So why not have Assassin's Creed, a beautiful franchise in the history of gaming, show off what it can do on this new generation of consoles? I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I think I don't know if it's February per se, but it makes sense because Destination PlayStation's in February, so why not get both of them out of the way? We see this blueprint being filed in Japan, so obviously, to me, there is weight if you start tallying some things up. And also, I mean, we just had XO, right? Where
Yeah.
Xbox has been having this conversation with the fans for over a year now. Now, by the time February rolls around, it's about time Sony has that conversation with us. You know what I mean? So, to me, totally makes sense. I'm really on board with the sound of Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. I want to see
Yeah.
them get weird with Assassin's Creed. Let's do it.
Yeah. I kind of wish it was not Vikings, though, if I'm totally
Really? Why is that? Because
100% real with
we
you.
did Egyptians, Greek.
Sure. I want them to go somewhere else with it. Maybe an Assassin's Creed in the future,
Space.
right? Or space.
The
No,
final
like
frontier.
I mean the rumor or the want from Assassin's Creed fans forever has been like a
Japanese.
feudal Japan samurai type setting, which would be cool. But then again, you're mixing it with Ghost of Tsushima, so it might kind of
Yeah.
get overlapped.
Yeah.
But the Assassin's Creed games are always good.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say always. They're pretty good most of the
Recent
time.
memory.
Yeah. It's
been
just
pretty
cool that
good.
we're getting a new one.
Yeah.
Same year as Watch Dogs though. That's a little
That is true. God,
kind
where
of-
do you
kind
need
of
to
weird.
land that? Watch Dogs
Yeah.
needs to be in a summer release.
yeah,
if that
for
is
sure.
if that is any indicator. Or this game's going to be pushed back as a windowed title.
Yeah, like maybe a year later, February 2021.
Yeah, you're gonna see it in February 2020. It'll be there 2021 or like March.
Yeah.
Yeah, right before tax season. So yeah, this is cool. If you're into all those rumors, and with that, let's get to our second to last story on the list.
Michael McWhorter over at Polygon writes, Project xCloud game streaming coming to PC in 2020, adding DualShock 4 support. Microsoft's game streaming platform Project xCloud is coming to Windows 10 PC in 2020. The company announced Thursday at XO19 in London. The addition of a new platform is part of a major expansion for Project xCloud, which launched publicly in preview form for Android devices only in the US, UK, and Korea earlier this year. Project xCloud players will be able to stream those Xbox One games to Windows PC next year, and Microsoft says it's collaborating with a broad set of partners to make game streaming available on other devices as well. Microsoft will also expand the input devices compatible with Project xCloud, naming Razer's Jungle Cat, the dual-sided controller that makes a full mobile phone look like a Nintendo Switch, and Sony's DualShock 4 as upcoming compatible gamepads.
Holy shit! When they announced Sony DualShock controller support,
My jaw dropped. I was like, wait, they said they had acknowledged Sony?
Yeah.
The Xbox thing?
like that was nuts. So that's the reason why we mentioned Xbox on the show for the second time, or technically third, is because DualShock support is coming to xCloud, which means Joseph's fantasy I talked about a few weeks ago of playing a Gears of War game or a Halo game and having the sacred symbols being there on the screen. I'm one step closer to it, baby. That's awesome. And
Yeah.
it really goes to show where Xbox's mentality is on the console war nonsense, which is it's nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, guys, let's all get into agreement here. I don't think, knock on wood, pray to shoe this never happens. I don't care if it does. I think Phil Spencer's come to the realization that the PlayStation brand is such a dominant brand. There's no way we're going to beat them. So might as well get their hardware on our end as well. Get as many people that have a controller. We don't even care the shape or the button layout.
Yep.
Get them get them working on xCloud, and that gets me super excited. Where does it land you in terms of, as a Sony fan, you take this news?
I think it's cool. I think it's weird. It's exciting.
Real weird.
Real weird. Yeah, I think it puts me one step closer to actually playing some Xbox games that I've missed my entire life, because I already own a DualShock. So like, if my computer would handle it, I could do it on my computer, which is great.
And that is, now I'm getting sick, Kyle. You're getting me sick. That is what Luke Lore is talking about on the Xbox expansion pass, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like, hey, listen, people that have never touched an Xbox before but own a DualShock, bam, this is their ticket into the Xbox ecosystem. This is pretty dope. Again, like, I've been very adamant when I say this. I'm not buying a Scarlet. I would like to play the next Halo game, but I'm not. I have this awesome PC, so I'll just put my Xbox games on here, because that's how little I play my Xbox One X. So little, it's embarrassing, because I prefer my PlayStation over it. So seeing the games I want to play, like Age of Empires, I just play them on my PC and pay $15 to Phil Spencer every month. I'm down with that idea. I ain't mad. Again, we're getting closer to that one day where this service is on a PlayStation. I really do believe that. With that, though, Blaze Knight writes into the show like you can too via Twitter at PS Trophy Room or via the Casa de Badbit Discord server. He asks us this question. A while back, there was a news story of how Sony bought out space on Microsoft servers, and xCloud supports the PlayStation 4 controller. Now, several months later, with Stadia belly flopping on the scene and xCloud rolling out, could we see a Sony equivalent service launch soon? Kyle, what are your thoughts on that question?
So, I'm confused. Is not PlayStation Now the Sony equivalent?
I think it is. I mean, we're blurring the line between PlayStation Now and, xCloud, right?
Yeah.
But I think what he's talking about is, yeah, but when can I play Stadia on my iPhone? When can I play it on my Samsung? When can I play it on my Pixel?
Yeah. I don't have a solid answer for that one.
I do.
Yeah, go for it then.
You're going to see it soon. I think in the next 2 to 3 years. This is, again, how Sony and Microsoft bridge the divide of the console wars. It is stupid, and if you can't beat them, join them. And we're seeing that. Sony can't beat Xbox with their server with their server capacity or their server speed, right? So they're just like, well, let's make a partnership, a strategic alliance with Microsoft, and let's rent out these Azure servers, and let's put our PlayStation services on these servers. And I think you're going to see in the very near future, PlayStation Now is going to include streaming onto your mobile devices, and they're going to probably call it Remote Play. And that's a service using, and they're going to probably word it, Microsoft Azure servers. Right? They're not going to say Xbox. They're going to be very diplomatic. And that is, you could chalk it up to a victory for Xbox if that's what's going to get you off. Or you could chalk it up to gamers being able to play wherever they want. And so you're going to see the service soon in the next 2 to 3 years. I think Microsoft is out of the gate, and they're going to hit every bug, every wall, every obstacle to make sure it's a smooth pavement for PlayStation services down the road, right? So, to me, this is great news. Get all the bugs out of the way with xCloud. And when it comes to Stadia, can we get some Fs in the chat?
Yeah. Wherever you are. Just press the nearest F near you.
The tweets I've seen about Phil Harrison, it's embarrassing. And I say with a smile and a little jokingly, like, the guy has been on the launch of the PlayStation 3, dud. Xbox One, dud. Now Stadia, his resume is fucked. That is incredible. Stadia has essentially, they're like, where's the shotgun so we can insert it in our mouth? Like, that was, man, how many rakes you have to trip over. Damn, you hate to see it. You truly do.
Hate to see it.
Do you think, okay, like, and I know we're going long and I should have ended this conversation minutes ago, but, like, do you think Stadia rebounds? You think Google pulls the plug on it?
I mean, Google is omnipotent at this point, right? So I feel
Yeah.
like Google can do no wrong. I think they'll figure it out.
Sure.
But they're real deep in whatever hole they're in right now. They need to get out quick.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Kyle, the last story, you're really amped on it. So let's talk
Yeah.
about it.
Michael McWhorter from Polygon also wrote, Amy Hennig's new studio will make story-focused games for emerging streaming platforms. Amy Hennig, the former creative director of the Uncharted series and Visceral Games' unfinished Star Wars game, is joining Skydance Media to develop interactive series for emerging streaming platforms, according to an announcement from the company. In other words, it sounds like Hennig's next project will be very different from her AAA video game work at Naughty Dog and Electronic Arts, which she left in 2018. Joining Hennig at Skydance will be Julian Beek, a veteran of EA whose credits include Battlefield Hardline, Need for Speed, and Visceral Star Wars game. Beek and Hennig will build a new team in the San Francisco Bay Area with offices at Skydance Media's Santa Monica headquarters. While Skydance did not formally name a specific project Hennig and Beek would lead, the description of their work sounds intriguing. Here's how they describe it. Designed to reach gamers and non-gamers alike on emerging streaming platforms, new story-focused experiences crafted as an interactive series will employ state-of-the-art in computer graphics to provide the visual fidelity of television and film, but with an active lead-in experience that puts the audience in the driver's seat. In a statement, Hennig said her team at Skydance hopes will be pioneering new ways to tell immersive stories through technology. Quote, our goal is to create inviting and innovative experiences with the high production values and visual fidelity that will set the standard in this new media landscape, end quote, Hennig said.
So, pretty awesome. I love to see her get on her feet. We talked about it earlier with, Jedi Fallen Order of like, man, seeing what could have been out of her studio, knowing that she is talented with the creation of Uncharted. What a Star Wars game could have been with her, but she got canned, and now she's landing on her feet at Skydance. So, what are some words you'd like to add, Kyle?
I mean, just having Amy in the gaming space again, making these incredible gaming stories is what I want. Mm-hmm. No matter where they are, it's good for gaming in general. Super happy for her. I'm very excited to see whatever this project is. Also with the pairing of Skydance, like, wouldn't it be cool if she wrote a Mission Impossible game?
Ooh,
wouldn't that be so freaking cool?
So all right, we have now assumed the role as Amy Hennig. All right,
sure.
Now if I was Shu, aka if I was Amy Hennig, we get to create the next game. What is that game? Is it a Mission Impossible game?
I mean,
third-person shooter?
You can't not say that. Yeah, right? With Uncharted elements?
Shit, I mean, that blends so well together now that you think about it. And, like, it's a focus more on hand-to-hand combat than shooting elements, and there's a ton of parkour.
A lot of traversal and stuff. The only other one... Cruise? I mean, yeah, right?
Can we afford Tom Cruise?
Of course we can. The only other property, Terminator? Could you bring Terminator back? Do we want to see Terminator back?
I mean, I heard Dark Fate was good, but it didn't pull in numbers like that. That franchise is so battered and ruined that it's going to take at least a decade for that thing to gain relevance again. Like, you need those... You need a whole new set of cast.
You know what else Skydance owns?
What's that?
G.I. Joe.
All right, how about this? We stop with your ideas because now they're starting to sound horrible.
I was waiting for you to do that. That's why I kept saying them.
Let's take a step back. Let's get rational. With Julian on the team, he was part of Visceral. Here's what I would want. Give me a spiritual successor to Dead Space. My hope is that Amy brings in whoever is still, on the lookout when it comes to Visceral. Bring all the excellent Visceral gang as you can and build a horror game.
Yeah.
Build something original. It's great. Mission Impossible sounds cool, right? Terminator, but like G.I. Joe, oh boy. But like, what we need original, right?
Yeah.
I think bringing Amy's writing and talents and then setting it to a horror focus. Damn. She is so great. The thing that makes Uncharted so good is when you're jumping, you can't believe you're making the jump, and neither can Nate.
Yeah.
Like, those aspects, the personal relationships, I want to see that as that horror element. I would love to. Oh my god, that would be fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Sure.
I want a horror game. Give me the Ishimura. Give me just call it Space Dead, and I'm
Space Dead.
Just do it, man. Oh my god, that would be awesome. That's what I would like to see her do. But you
Not
know what?
Alive Space.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna ignore that. I'm just gonna ignore it, Kyle. I think though what she's talking about doesn't interest me as much because from what it seems like, it kind of screams episodic, choose your own adventure type of thing. Like it kind of screams like a Don't Nod game to me. And not to say Don't Nod games aren't great. I'm really excited for that Xbox exclusive one. I can't remember the name of it, but stars a trans character. That's dope as all hell. But like,
They Are Us? Is that what it is?
something like that. Yeah. But like, again, I don't. Those games for me, it's cool that they exist. They're typically not for me though. So I don't know. I hope you're the best though. That's all I know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Kyle, got a question for you.
I think I know this question, and I'm already holding on.
Oh, good. 'Cause prepare the drop each and every week. PlayStation drops the latest and greatest games onto the PlayStation storefront. The only problem is that there are way too many awesome games to name. So Kyle and Joseph each pick a game that piques their interest. This week, Joe's pick...
Civilization 6, baby! It's here! Civ 6! One of my favorite strategy series. Civilization 5 was... It's one of my top 10 games of all time. I love it. I love real-time strategy. I'm going to talk about Xbox one last time. Age of Empires 4 was revealed, and I literally cried. I literally teared. Like, it was... That game made me fall in love with history. Civ 5 cemented my love for the real-time strategy. Seeing Civ 6 on a PlayStation platform, holy crap, is awesome. And so with that, let's get into the description.
Explore a new world, research technology, conquer your enemies. Go head-to-head with history's most renowned leaders as you attempt to build the greatest civilization the world has ever known. Civilization 6 for PlayStation 4 includes the latest game updates and improvements, including 4 new civilizations, leaders, and scenarios. But there's one thing that'll never change. Gandhi is always gonna be a bit of a dickhead.
It's true. Gandhi's always OP.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that passive resistance shit kind of is annoying. Yeah, he's like a very broken. And oddly enough, when Gandhi is in the game, he's also very aggressive.
Oh,
Like,
that's
he's,
very
like,
weird.
From what I'm remembering, like you fucking throw elephants at me. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Aren't you supposed to be like fucking boycotting some salt? What are you doing? Invading Spain? What are you doing, dude? You know? I don't know. Kyle, what is your pick?
Yeah. My pick is a game called Lost Ember. A breathtakingly beautiful world holds the secrets of its past for you and your companion to uncover. Play any let me back up for a second. Yeah. I'm stumbling over my words a lot today. I don't know why.
How dare you?
Play any animal you meet to see the world from new perspectives and chase your destiny in the exploration adventure Lost Ember.
You know, you could have picked Shenmue 3. That would have been an easy out.
Would it though?
That's true.
We've all seen that fighting little
menu
tutorial screen.
I saw Sean Capri play it, and I was like, Listen, for you Shenmue fans out there, you're gonna love this. Everybody else,
I will.
thanks.
I will. I want to give another special shout out to like the game I was going through here, Mountain Rescue Simulator. It just looks like a rip off of Death Stranding.
Let me see. Let me take a look at it.
It's just like
Holy
you have to
shit.
rescue people, and bring them to
When
different
danger
places.
calls, it's down to you to become a lifesaver in Mountain Rescue Simulator. Now you and your team are in demand. Use your special vehicles such as helicopters, quad bikes, and a snowcat to rescue people. Take care of broken bones and rescue lost hikers. Find and rescue mountaineers and skiers.
Yeah, if that
This-
gets you all riled up, it's
It's-
your week, baby.
Boy, just take a look at that cover. How do you simulate a mountain rescue?
I don't know, and I don't
These
know
guys have the
how
answer.
this studio keeps making these games because I assume it's the same as like the farming and the bus driving and the train and
I don't know anymore.
the goat simulator.
Why does God let things like this happen to good people? You know what time it is, Kyle?
What time is it?
It's time for Andrew House's snail mail. Each and every week, you get to send your questions, your comments, your concerns to us via the Casa de Bad Bit Discord server, or you can reach out with your questions over at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. Or you can send your mail to Andrew House. I'll fly over, ski there, snow bike there. It don't even matter. I'll just go and I'll
Snowcat?
steal his shit. I'll grab a snowcat from Mountain whatever simulator. Yeah, I stole a lot of his mail today. And this first question comes from Antonio Guillen, and he writes in with, not a question, but could you please do a mock Game of the Year acceptance speech? Imagine you won. What would you say? Who would you thank? What would you have to say about the industries, the fans, the development experience? Who would you call out and shame? Who would you praise? Well, first and foremost, I want to thank God.
Yeah.
JC
Without
up
him, there is nothing.
there is nothing. Okay. I want to thank my mom for, yeah, that's you. Right in there. I love you, Mom. Oh, I want to thank my first dog, Jake. He was real dope. His kidneys failed. He died. I want to thank my brother and his wife just for existing, I guess. I want to think about, I want to think about all the children in the world and how it sucks to be a kid. You always thought about it when you were a kid growing up. You're like, oh, I can't wait to be 18. Yeah, once you hit 18, you can drink and you can drive.
No, you can't drink and drive at 18.
You can do them at the same time.
No. Oh, why does it always get to this point?
If you can't be stopped, sky's the limit. You just go.
Oh, jeez. And at this point, I would
Zoom.
run up on stage and take the mic out of your hand, and just bow and say, also shout out to Andy House for not putting Joe in jail for all these years, for stealing his mail, and thank you. We'll be back next year. Fuck the Oscars, and then we leave.
Fuck the Oscars. I just broke myself. Oh, God, that was the best question yet. The next question comes from Tim Wolf, who writes in,
God,
out of all the games
you put yourself in these boxes.
do.
You say you're in a box, but you do it to yourself.
It's my fault. I'm a broken man. God,
Oh my God.
my brain don't work as well as it should. Tim Wolf writes in, out of all the games you have been playing, which has you thinking about it the most and wanting to get back to playing it the most? Jedi, Death Stranding, some other third game on another system? Or is your gaming time divided because you have to play them all? Interesting. I think we talked about it a little bit before. I've been bouncing back between Death Stranding and Jedi, man. And it's... I don't normally, Tim. I'd like to know your response to this. Are you usually a guy that's like, and everybody, are you usually the person who's just like, hey, I'm playing 3 games at once, You know, like I see people who bought Pokemon, Death Stranding, Jedi. They're playing them all and they're just juggling them all.
That's me.
That's me too. I haven't played Pokemon yet, but like,
Yeah.
it's just like I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
I usually take a game, I dedicate a month to it, and then I'm on to the next game.
Yep.
This month been crazy. So.
Yeah, it's been a lot of juggling lately, and with just the thought in the back of my head of going back to these other games I missed this year.
Yeah.
And that's like a broken record on the show. Like, I want to play Metro Exodus.
Yeah.
I want to go back and finish Days Gone. I want to play The Walking Dead Season 3, or the final season, excuse me. Like, all these games are just in the back of my head while I'm playing these other ones. But I'm having a great time jumping between Jedi, Death Stranding, and Pokemon when I'm not in the house. Like, it is...
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great time right now.
All right.
I'm feeling fine.
It's a great time to be alive. Nathan writes into us with this, the last question of the night. Will the next Street Fighter still be a PlayStation exclusive? They just announced a Champion Edition, which will include all the release fighters, 34 stages, and 200 costumes, which is a huge value for 30 US doll hairs. And players who have already owned it can upgrade it to only $25. I'm going to get it because I haven't paid for any of the expensive DLC since launch, and it's a killer deal. So, yeah, and then he goes on, if we're going to do a Street Fighter game, do we want to do it like an Overwatch? You know, paid microtransactions in the form of loot boxes? What would we want to see out of it? So, first and foremost, do you think the next Street Fighter is going to be a PlayStation exclusive? You think they're going to shell out the cash?
Honestly, before Nathan asked this question, I completely forgot that Street Fighter was console exclusive.
I remember playing it and totally unimpressed. And to see it rebound the way it has is really awesome. You know, I was saying it in the Discord. I'm not a huge fighting guy.
Neither
I'm
am
really
I.
bad. I'm really pathetic.
Yeah.
But like, this is awesome to see that you'll be able to jump back in for $30.
Yeah. With a lot of value there. There's a lot of stuff in there.
And the thing is, too, is that you're jumping back in while Capcom's back to the graces of the consumer, right? Like, you got Monster Hunter Iceborne. You got, Resident Evil remake. You got 2 remake. You got Devil Might Sob, right? 4. Right? Is it 4? I think so. Or 3? 5. God damn it. Ooh, gosh.
That was also this year. That's
Hashtag
crazy.
fake fan. Just a guy that knows nothing about it. So you know that those games did well, critically well as well. Yeah, this is an awesome deal. I would like to see the next Street Fighter game exclusive, but I don't think Capcom needs that financial backing anymore. So
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be it's gonna be a multi-plat for sure. How would I reboot it? That's a bigger question. I don't know because I'm not a fighting guy. So I'd like to take the easy way out and say Overwatch, but like I just don't know. I would like
This is me being super naive to Street Fighter.
Yeah.
But from what I know from games like specifically NetherRealm and Tekken, like there's some story there. Is there a story mode in Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Is there?
But it's very vague. Last time, again, when I played it at launch, it was very surface level and or barren. Some would say.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. That was all the questions we got, Kyle. Before we close the show out, again, we have the Road to Greatness. If you're a patron over the $5 tier, we talk for a really long time about Death Stranding. Think over an hour of in-depth. We break down Death Stranding prologue all the way from chapter 1 to the end of chapter 2. We gush about it. We love it a lot. We would like your feedback on it. Please understand that Death Stranding, there's a lot to the game, so we might be a little bit all over the place. But just give us some feedback of what you want to see in future episodes as well.
Absolutely.
This show is only because of the awesome patrons at patreon.com/badbit. Big shout out to Dan Welsh and the Winter Gamer himself for being at the silver tier of patrons. You guys really do help the show in a major way, and I cannot thank you both enough. And then I'd like to thank God. I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, for putting in all the hard work.
I'm about to run up on the stage
I think
again,
about
Joe.
all the children, and when I was 5, I was like, I would love to be 18 so I could drive. No, but like in all seriousness, okay. When I was, everybody's like, I wish I was a kid again. I'm like, no, you're able to drive. You can smoke wacky tobacco. You know what I mean? Shoot a gun, shoot a revolver in the air with no consequence. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You could gamble. Could you gamble when you were 5? Well, yeah, they're called microtransactions. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, Kyle, before we go, would you like to pimp your stuff out?
I'd always like to plug myself. Who Dat Ninja 73 on Twitter and on PSN. My show all about the kind of funny community is at BFS Talk Funny on Twitter. New episode going live next week with the one and only Joe Wilson, Mr. Afro Cyborg himself. Yeah, so look for that, and yeah, happy hunting.
And again, you can find the show on iTunes, on Google Play, on YouTube, on not SoundCloud, on Podbean, Spotify, wherever there's an RSS feed, you can find us there. You can find us on YouTube at BadBit, support us at Patreon BadBit. You all know the spiel, so with all that said, with all that out of the way, keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation.